All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The European Pro League, HellRaisers versus Property, getting started here on Property's pick of Kabul. We're already into the pistol round here, and these are best of twos. All these teams looking for a point. As Kaboom looking into the mid-room, Benji moving up on long A. All of Property situated outside here on middle.
Yeah, at this point, so probably just taking their time, not going to be rushing in. They don't have too much utility, just a couple flashes and a smoke on Berg. And again, I'm going to be very interested to see how Downey fills in. Now, of course, he is Swedish. We have seen these guys playing together in the past. He has filled in, I think it was in the placement tournament that you mentioned before, Joey. So clearly they have an understanding of how this guy plays. But that first frag is going to be coming down from Benji on long. And that's going to keep the CTs guessing right now.
Yeah, so they've slid back over towards B. Kucher, though, meanwhile, finds Benji, so that's shutting down. He shuts down both of those lurkers, Benji and Kaboom falling to that. Now it's just 3 terrorists working over into that bomb site. Doja here from the chicken coop. 1, 2. Can we count to 3? Doesn't look like we'll need to, but we'll come over and take him out.
On this map, it's a pretty big issue to go down a man on CP side because of how thin you are spread as a CT. Typically, you want to have 4B whenever possible. It means like 1 on each side of drop, 2 in the site to hold it down. And so if you lose your A player, or if someone finds a pick on the other side of the map, you can hang out for a second and hit something a lot more easily than you can somewhere else because the rotations take forever. So once Kucher was able to find that second pick, and then after his teammate looked for a trade, get that one as well, that made it almost impossible for them to take B. So if they played it a little bit more passively after they had the man advantage, I'm sure they would have had a much better chance of winning there.
Absolutely, but you are seeing now the CTs, after getting those weapons in their hands, are going to be picking off the first frag. It's Kucher once more on long A. Kind of more expected, though, with the P90. There's the second frag. Has he spotted the third? He did, but Benji too fast on the trigger puts him down. Now, the terrorists did go for some Tech 9 and armor, so you're expecting them to maybe get a couple frags out of this. It's going to look better than maybe they're expecting, though. A minute left on the timer, and they have just brought it back to a 2-on-2. Make that a 2-on-1. Dozzy's landed the headshot onto Dumas. It's all on Berg.
Yeah, Berg fighting with Moo. He's in between a rock and a hard place. CT on either side right now. Doja is still limited, just having the Nova. And Mo over there with that FAMAS. So we'll see what Berg can do. Berg yesterday was a little inconsistent, but he was the star player on a couple of the maps yesterday for Property. And in the chat, people were trolling, saying, is this Berg? Is this Berg? Because he was playing really well, but he will fall down. HellRaisers have a 2-0.
Yeah, Berg was obviously a scary point for them in that round because no matter how many kills he got, any of them were really damaging to HellRaisers. They're keeping them low here, Property, and even though they didn't actually armor buy last round, I think actually some of them did, it looked like. Only Berg and Dumas didn't, so I feel like they came away with that round successful, and Kucher here is going to look for the first picks at long.
And he doesn't get any of them. So for the first time, Kucher is unsuccessful to at least get a frag on the board before falling down. He did do significant damage, though. You can see 3 players from the Swedes from Property have been dropped below 50% of the HP. It looks like they are going to be rotating towards that B side with the bomb in hand, but they only have 1 smoke to play with here, Joe. This is going to be rough for them to push out on, as my game just crashed. 10 out of 10.
Nice. At least all of our games going to crash at the same exact time, which is known to have happened. I don't understand how it's possible. As, man, 3 of these players extremely low. It might be Kaboom leading the charge here with the MP9 that I suppose he must have taken away from Kucher. It's the only way I could think he would have one. They're starting to drop in. No one is even playing the room. They are on the other side, but it's Doja who's got a grenade out and will fall to Benji. And now the terrorists, they go through drop and actually split out into the A site. However, Mo in here with that Hyper Beast locking it down. Adrian getting Downey in the connector. And it's coming to a 2-on-2. So Property actually, again, making HellRaisers sweat a little bit. This will be draining on that CT economy. And, well, there's the Kobe. 3 points for Angel. And actually another, he will bring down Kaboom. Nicely done. Both those CT players are pretty low, so maybe a bit nerve-wracking.
That was an excellent recovery from HellRaisers, who Doja there I thought was going to be the linchpin for them, as he died instantly with a nade out when they smoked the left side of drop. So I'm not sure if the call was there, but it needed to be because that put him at risk, and him having a smoke out made that a little bit more of a precarious situation. But Mo put himself in a really good position there when they knew that there was going to be some type of A split, and got those 2 kills. I forgot that first one. I was like, oh my goodness, he's probably going to get 3 or even 4. But either way, made it much more easy for his teammates to win the round.
And Mo has got the first AWP here on HellRaisers and indeed the server, so I'm going to be interested to see how he runs with that one. Had no fantastic spawns. He's going to be heading to B. 4 players stacked around there, just the one in drop zone. And then he's obviously got Kutcher, who's been consistently like the A player. He's typically gone long A. This time he's going to be heading to more towards the mid area itself. So just a slow, steady approach from Property. Fairly standard stuff from the terrorists.
Yeah, just spreading out. They do have the bomb on Downey over towards the B side of things. Also, I wonder if Downey will op. I believe he was one of the ops for Public Alert, but I mean, we criticized Property yesterday for not really having an opper. Praised and criticized them, I guess. Add some versatility, but then they don't really have a 100% nuts opper on their team. But Kaboom and Benji both do all right. And let's see, smoke's going down at long. That's Berg's own smoke, and I think that's just across to the other side. Keep Kucher kind of guessing. Meanwhile, Doja elsewhere on the map. I don't know, Metuz, if you saw where that came from.
I didn't. I'm watching on board with Kutcher right now because he's by himself, and it's such a precarious position because, like, if he completely focuses on mid, there's a chance he will get shut down from Berg, and vice versa as well. But there is the frag on Berg. That makes things easier. Gets a second frag as well and gives the HellRaisers a chance to force themselves back onto this side. 20 seconds to play with. They line up for Dozia, and he knocks them down. 4-0 now for HellRaisers.
Kutcher doing such an amazing job at A. Like, he was just in the worst spot there, and it's because he didn't want to fall off the site and only get 1 kill that he was kind of lurking around that smoke that Berg threw down for him. But Property were doing a good job of keeping HellRaisers honest, like in this 2-3 setup that they really want them to be in. And HellRaisers responded, but then lost the opening man, have done that multiple times, and have always recovered off the back of a really nice 2K from their A player. So now Property might try to change it up here, and it looks like they are going quickly down drop.
Yeah, Angel already going to find Dumas just like that. That'll give HellRaisers the man advantage. It'll keep Property scrambling a little bit, and it's very tough. They're going to drop Berg as well. Adrian from Long B gets 2, finds Downey. And Property, they've had a few close ones, even when they were running their eco rounds up against HellRaisers, but they still haven't got on the board. They've got that 0 next to their name, and I don't think Kaboom is going to be able to deliver them out of this round.
Yeah, it's not looking good, is it? He does have the bomb, flashbang, but that's pretty much all. A minute to play with. So maybe he can get a bit of economic damage across the HellRaisers. That's not going to happen. There's Kutcher from behind. He snakes his way in through mid. 5-0. Remember, this was the choice of Property as well. So alarm bells will be beginning to ring right now for them.
The worst part for Property is that they know that HellRaisers are going to push something if they get enough information. And when they don't have enough players to respond, it just puts them in a really awkward spot where if they cancel a rush like they did, they won't feel comfortable going back to the other side. And I'm not sure what their strategy there was, but hitting drop as hard as they did it with one player, I assume they were like, he thought, okay, I got the spawn, I'm feeling on, I can get this entry, and if I get this entry, let's take the site. And because they didn't, they kind of forfeited the round before it started.
So initially at the start of this one, it was HellRaisers rolling, and we saw from the nice flyby from Kevin that they were running 4 over towards B, but already they've brought Kucher back, and he's again playing on that CT slope further down with Angel pushed up out towards long A, and you can see all these terrorists starting to gather up. They want to go for that mid-room long A split. Looks like they're going in 2 and 2 to each of those locations, keeping Dumas lurking over towards B. But action might be still a little ways off. It's probably going to be Kucher who is the one forced to react the most, as these Tech 9 armors can get a little scary. Benji also has a smoke. Where is he? Is he going to... Oh, Benji's down, so someone will have to pick it up, and that's probably what they wanted to smoke, that door where Angel was.
Yeah, try and isolate Kutcher once more, but you can see consistently this guy has been on form. 8 for 3, soon to be 9. No, he gets traded out by Kaboom. That is not a frag I saw coming. And that does open up things nicely for the terrorists if they can pick up this second frag. They've got it onto Angel. Nicely placed flashbang. Completely blinds up Adren. He can't push on through just yet, so that is going to be a bomb plant. They've got a couple of assault rifles as well. This is doable for the terrorists. It just got a little bit less doable, though, because Downey gets himself picked off. But there is Dumas once more. Last remaining player. Can't connect the dots. And Mo puts him down 6-0 now. But there was a couple moments there. I thought maybe Property can finally get on the scoreboard.
Yeah, that's kind of been the story of every round almost. I mean, man advantage, a free entrance into A site, the A player in a really tough spot, and then he comes away and gets a couple of kills, and all of a sudden HellRaisers are back in it. They win it. The 2v2 goes their way completely. I think keeping 2 players alive almost every single time. There hasn't been a clutch round, even though it seems like Property have been in control of the early to mid rounds. Now, yeah, right there was the opportunity for them to win. Kutcher could have stayed alive just a little bit longer, and instead of got traded out when it seemed obvious that he was about to get that kill, and because of that they probably should have won, but couldn't close it out.
All right, well, here they go. Team Property answering some of our questions, or maybe my questions, of who was going to op. It'll be Benji to try to pick it up first. He was looking for a pick, get some damage done to him, and Angel brings home that kill with the grenade. So again, HellRaisers starting off with the first kill of the round. This is going to be a bit rough for them.
It's certainly not looking good, but Downey does give them a glimmer of hope. There's still plenty of time to play with. They've got a lot of utility as well. And Berg is lurking round drop. He could get picked off. That's so unfortunate. The timing could not have been worse for him. And Dozier will clean him up. And just when he started to think that maybe the CTs would be spread too thin, that's going to give them a lot of respite. Collective sigh of relief. 45 seconds to play with here, Joey. And I think Property, they're just hoping for a pick. If they can't get a pick this round, probably will be slipping away as well.
Yeah, speaking of picks, I actually wanted to look. We talked a lot about first kills yesterday. So far in this match, we've seen 6 rounds. We're seeing the 7th now. Each team has 3 first kills, so Property has had those chances of man advantage. I'm thinking a lot of them maybe came on their force-up eco rounds, though, where Tech9 got a first kill, but even still, you don't have a great chance to go forward in the round. But again, we're seeing them a man down. HellRaisers with 4. Kucher playing in a fantastic spot on the other side of the stable, but oh my gosh, I was thinking he gets nothing, but he somehow finds 2 kills right there, maybe a third if Dumas can't land this op shot up against the P2K, but Doja will bail him out.
Wow, just super well played. Obviously, again, Kutcher using like most of his bullets there on the first guy, not killing him, and then seeing another target and taking him down in his first 2, and then being able to finish off the second one, and then put pressure on the third. I mean, obviously, he's just such a fantastic player at A right now, and he's just locking it down. I really like how Property are giving the whole map respect and not just trying to hit B every single time. But either way, even when they try to work picks and take it slowly, they aren't able to find an opening that's allowed them to take A site because Kutcher's there.
Well, this time they seem to go a bit more aggressive. In fact, it was really only Kaboom that went down long B by himself. He got picked off as the flashbangs ripped on in. It was Adren that got that for the CTs. The bombs dropped all the way back at T spawn, so it's not going to be anything too frantic just yet from Property. Again, though, they are going to be trying to force the CTs and maybe into a couple of mistakes. And I agree with what Launders said. Like they clearly are happy to try and exploit and probe each area of the map. The problem is that so far it just really hasn't been too successful.
Yeah, Kaboom tries to get aggressive off that B plat, and this is where I'm going to get a little bit of a shout out to a player on Cloud9. If you want to get better as that solo worker out of the B plat, watch Shroud. I think he is the best, long B terrorist player in the game over here on Cobble. But we got a 3-on-3 going over towards the A site. Bomb's making its way in. They actually will take down Mo. He falls from behind that van. Doja's up in the balcony already. And there's the smoke coming through. Flash as well. It'll force Doja to drop off. And Adrian is lost. Oh, he tries to push through the door of Connector. Is brought down. They know where Doja is. Berg finds 2. 3 on the round overall. And Property are finally on the board.
I think Property never feel like they're completely out of it. And even though their strategy has just been kind of eroded away at by HellRaisers because of how sick the individual performances have been over at the A site when it comes to defending or recovering or just finding kills or better trades. But because Property brought the round so close every time, I think they've done a good job of just keeping their head on their shoulders and realizing that if they just play their game, they're going to be able to ground it a couple rounds. And even though it's only 1 out of the last 8 that have been played, there is still hope for a decent half, I feel like.
And as you say, they're a team as well. We saw this yesterday, that they refuse to lose. They refuse to give up. So there's always a chance. So I totally agree. The issue, though, is that if HellRaisers put their foot back down on the throats, there could be some issues. And, of course, if HellRaisers win this map, they could force Property into kind of forced by eco territory because that round loss has now been taken away from the T's. Flashes. Still a minute to play with. Mo is just going to be hiding there with the AWP. And it seems the terrorists for now aren't too interested in this. They're only rotating towards connector, maybe through mid. And the CT's just holding position. It's going to be drop zone. There's the first frag. Dozio looks for the second, but meanwhile, Mo, who has taken a different place in chicken, decides to relocate. He's given a kill for his troubles. There's Benji, though. Although Angel did see all 3 players and will be calling to the rest of his team, it's probably an A push.
Yeah, generally when that one flank goes down, it leaves the other site so undefended, but the way Cobble works, actually, by the time that player goes down, you can rotate from B to A if you got someone near the connector or drop. And I think Property realizing this have now just completely turned around. Time is getting low, though, and we've seen this so many times. Time gets low, someone's in a cheeky spot, and Adrian is going to make them pay for it. Nice aim from him. He gets the triple kill.
What do you say about that? I mean, it's just that he warmed up on the first guy, took him down. I was going to say he could just let him run by, but and make sure that he gets 3. Instead, he gets all 3 taking duels with the last 2, no problem. So yeah, they put Adrenaline in a great spot for their teammates to rotate out. And what was scary is Property spent all that time at B with pretty much 5 men there throwing nades, shooting bullets, and didn't cause a single rotation for HellRaisers. They stood strong 3-2. So to get them to rotate off of B completely, I think would have taken a lot. But Property could not see what we can.
Yeah, here comes the terror, though, of being a terrorist. It just lost their round loss bonus. You're now seeing them with Tech 9s, couple P250s, couple Kevlars thrown in, maybe just to equalize the economy somewhat. But Property only with 1 smoke. And HellRaisers, I mean, they've been dealing with the assault rifle buy-ups over and over again. You'd assume they'll be able to fend this one off for now. Playing more aggressively, Angel, though, he has just dropped down. Still a Molotov in his hand, so plenty of utility to fend off the potential push that comes in. Really, it's just 2 Masters that's trying to push through long, but they do get the first frag, and that is going to be an assault rifle into the hands of Berg. But here comes the spray down from Angel. Mo connects the shot as well. Kaboom will answer back, however, so brings it back to a 3-on-3.
Yeah, Adrian also still way back in the site over at the chicken coop. And the terrorists, you know, they dropped into that enemy territory. Kucher, though, not going to let him get much further. He's still locking down the window. Downey and also Kaboom just stuck up in the drop room. About to eat a grenade and with no armor. Oh, that hurts so much. Can't quite find the headshot. Actually did have an opportunity, but Kucher will best him. Kaboom now scoops up the gun. Oh, goes for a quick peek. Surprise, says Kaboom. It's like whack-a-mole, except the mole shoots back. I haven't played that one yet. And there it is. Adrian will get the final frag. Keeping Adrian alive with an M4, Mo alive with an op.
Yeah, and again, they're just suffering from having their economy getting destroyed. But on that round, I mean, they got a pick or 2. They were stuck in drop. They were really waiting for their A player or whoever they pushed through A late to try to get a frag. But sorry, who was outside drop there? Was that Kutcher? I think it's just too aware and waited for that flank, took it down, and that also took their hopes away. Now, I think Property really needed that one. But either way, we'll be able to buy now. Downey's the only one who doesn't have that much money, but I think they still have a solid buy overall. T-side, you can afford to just have one person on a pistol because that person can recycle a gun or pick one up pretty easily. As you weren't first, everyone's generally pretty close together, unlike CT side.
Yeah, for sure. And a Deagle as well. We've already seen what Downey's capable of in Deagle when we casted Public Lure in the past. This guy can really land some pretty crazy 1-Deags. It is the CTs that have lost the first casualty once more, which has been a pretty reoccurring theme so far on Cobblestone, even though HellRaisers have the 9-1 lead. And they've already taken over Drop Zone, although the issue now is getting out of Drop Zone. It's kind of half the battle getting in there and actually boosting back out once more. So Downey's going to be going back up again, which is interesting. 40 seconds on the timer, and this player advantage could very well be moving towards the A site.
Wow, I love this. Such a good position to catch rotators.
Yeah, so
this one going pretty slow, all the way down to 20 seconds. Team Property, you'd hate to see them, find that man advantage, try to run those complex strats, and then run out of time. And Kucher in another good spot. We've seen him here many times before. This time, though, Property completely expecting that one. They're lucky that no one's hiding out at the back of the A site because they've only got 7 seconds here to try to get that bomb down. Looks like they will. Rotation's coming over. Mo will hit a shot. Doja unable to kill Benji. And Mo getting another, though. That'll even it up to the 2-on-2. Now Adrian trying to push out of that smoke. He's brought down by Downey. Benji finds Mo. And there it is. Property. Another round on the board.
They were bringing it a little bit close on the post plants. As you mentioned, it seemed like, Mo shouldn't get that pick or wow, I can't believe it's 2v2, and that is a little bit risky for them. And then taking A that late, you know, it's a hard thing to do, especially considering you're in vision of your opponents way before you're able to actually get the bomb down. But because they took control of draw, that caused a bit of a distraction, that stole some information, forced HellRaisers to play an extra man over towards B. And Kutcher played the exact same spot again. He did that like 2 or 3 rounds, and it seems like if they pushed it to the late enough round, he might be there, and that's how I got triple peaked. I mean, he's been able to get away with it, but you can't do that every time.
Very interesting buy here from HellRaisers, opting to go for the Force buy. It's going to include 3 upgraded pistols with a FAMAS and an M4. Now, this could end up being a bit of an issue if they were to lose this round. It's right back into ecos, maybe even double eco, depending on how the next couple rounds go. So I'd be very interested to hear Launders' opinion at the end of this round. But for now, Property are just kind of biding their time as per usual. It is going to be Kutcher round the side. He could potentially get a cheeky 1D or 2. Misses the first opportunity, and that could be him losing his life. It will be. Still, the CTs holding on. This 2-on-2 trade. Make that a 3-2 in favor of Property. And now both the CT defenders on B have maneuvered their way through the hut onto the A side. It's all on Dozia. 35 HP to his name. He's got 2 flashes and a FAMAS, and that's pretty much it. Nice first frag. And Berg will be pushing his location right now. That flash lands right on top of his head. The issue now for Dozia is like the next bullet pretty much kills him. He opens up, but Berg is there, just about winning the round for Property.
Yeah, and for HellRaisers, it's, I mean, I don't think they'll try that again, considering how low they are across the board, but that was kind of a Hail Mary, not from the perspective that they're behind in rounds, obviously, but because Property were so low that if they won that round, they would be completely destroyed once again. And so it was really more on Property to win that round than HellRaisers. They have rounds to work with to take that risk and to really widen their lead. So I can understand why they did it. Would they have done it versus the 9P? I'm not so sure, but at the same time, I think it made sense from the perspective that they feel like they have a better team.
Oh my gosh, Angel going up for the boost, sees the player, drops down to retreat, doesn't realize that he dropped down into fire, and he will die. He roasts alive. But look at this, the pistols are striking. Property are falling apart here. They will really be knocking themselves if they lose this round, and it's looking like they may. Kaboom is here. He's got a frag. He's got the bomb, but he's still in a 1 versus 2. Doja very low. Kucher has an AK and no armor, so you know it's a 1-on-2 that Kaboom can maybe win. I think being in that drop room, Doja, yeah, he's got that information that Kaboom's starting to rotate, and he'll just bring him down with the P250. So even Angel falling to the Molotov to start things off. Property, man, they misstepped there.
Yeah, I mean that was no armor. I feel like so that was definitely a big mistake. No,
that was a full eco from HellRaisers.
Yeah, a lot of the times team damage is not that big a deal, but in that situation where your teammate dinks you as you walk at a drop and somebody else hits you with a P250 and you die, like that is a big deal because he was in such an important spot. So Berg might be a little bit upset about that, especially considering I'm sure he let his teammate know, or his teammates know that he was going to be making that play.
I'm not sure you guys caught that. It was so awkward. Dubas rushes through mid and gets flashed by his own team. So he literally runs out of the smoke, fully flashed, and just gets wrecked. I think it was Kutcher who was there. So like maybe a kind of a miscommunication on the part of Property, running in a bit too fast, not allowing the flash to take effect. But here we go. It's an eco. There is a deagle in the hands of Kaboom. He's pretty scary with this weapon, but against 5 CTs, I don't think so. 11-3, a great half so far for HellRaisers, and it could go one better.
Yeah, and that was just symbolic of how much control HellRaisers have had coming into these last few rounds, and also leading up to this very last one. So overall, it wouldn't have mattered if they had lost that many players on that round. They would still be able to rebuy, it seems, and the most Property can get here is 4 rounds. I mean, they're going up against HellRaisers in the second half. That's one thing to consider. The other thing to consider is that maybe the T-set rounds should have been a little bit more easy to come by, and so some of those 2v2 situations, oh man, they might have gone better, but Adrian really just beating Dumas there. Usain Bolt versus
Oh, who are you going with?
Jonathan Bailey.
There you go. So that's the second time, maybe even more than that, that we've seen it. Dren just absolutely shut down the player from Property who tries to work off that platform. A few times it's been Benji. This time it was Dumas. Adrian's been very good locking down the B site. Kucha's been very good, even from spots where you would think he shouldn't get anything. over at A. He finds kills seemingly out of nowhere. And this time, look, what is that? He's quick switching, and Benji doesn't get the kill. Kucher still steps up to the occasion, and 4-on-3.
Just fantastic play from HellRaisers. And you look at the scoreboard as well. There's not a huge amount of kill spread between 4 players, 16-13. Kaboom, though, is trying to make something happen in this final round of the half, but it's down to Burke and Downey. The step in today for Robin. Can they chime together? Can they pull together and just somehow clutch this out with the jaws of defeat? Yes, it looks like a resounding no, as Mo just takes the head off Burke's shoulders.
That'll be on Reddit.
Yeah, absolutely destroys him. Downey, good luck, sir. That's a nice first tap, but he's still got 2 players to find in 13 seconds. Is he going to assume the second player is there behind the site itself? I don't think he is. He has to go for the bomb, and there we go. Dozier from the side, 12-3, halftime score.
Yeah, I think you'd have to be pretty stupid to assume someone is their backside, but there he was, 1 HP, a really good bait setup from HellRaisers to seal it up. And another situation where they're down to 2 players. I think there are so many of them in this half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 6 total rounds where it came down to 2v2, 2v1 situation, and HellRaisers were just able to edge it out. And I think on all those rounds, or at least 90% of them, Property were able to get the opening pick. So good in the mid to early, or early to mid, but into the late round, the clutch rounds of 2v2s, HellRaisers just locked it up, no problem.
It's funny to see on Cobble. A lot of teams will kind of take it slow, but I think slow on Cobble as a terrorist can be kind of risky because the sites are very punishing. Like, you get into A site with no time, you can't check that back corner, or like balcony, for instance, you can get punished. Over in B, you're trying to plant, someone's hiding in chicken coop. Like, it could be pretty risky to get into a bomb site with 5 seconds left on this map.
Yeah, it's like your idea of late has to be a little bit earlier on this map because of like how far you are from the actual plant spots sometimes.
Yep, so 12-3, we are waiting. There we go. As I was about to say, we're waiting for the next pistol round to get underway. What do you reckon, guys? Could Property potentially pull this back, or is 12-3 far too far gone? I mean, personally, I think HellRaisers should easily just end this map 16-4, 16-5 kind of territory.
I think Property give them a run for their money. I think a lot of teams versus HellRaisers are second half warriors, and HellRaisers do have a little bit of an issue. I feel like of kind of taking it a little bit easy when they have like a really strong lead, but sometimes it works out anyway. Just getting super aggressive, but I think you definitely see easily that 16-4, 16-5 if they win this pistol.
All right, well, there's Kaboom. Is going to start off by finding a kill onto Angel. Things will slow down for the time being. And, well, as for my opinion, Property, I mean, we know they're sick aimers, so if they hold their angles, hit their shots, maybe they can do it. But we've also seen, casting them a lot recently, that their T-sides are generally a bit stronger. So they do have that going against them. Benji, however, with this USP, going to find Mo, and they've got themselves a 5-on-3. A couple players low, and Kucher has gotten pretty close. Checks the first cannon. Will he check the back of the side? Yes, he does. He sees Downey jumping up. HellRaisers getting kills all across the board. It is now only Kaboom. He opened up the round. Now he's got to close it out. 1 versus 3. He will get Doja. How many bullets does he have left, though? You're going to run out on this USP. He's got 12 right now. And, well, doesn't get to use any of them. Kucher, 4 kills.
4 kills with a Tech 9. So
they don't count.
They don't count. You get like half a kill per. But yeah, the HellRaisers. I mean, even though HellRaisers just won that 3v5, they did like almost 200 damage going into that. I think his Property got into really good spots, but because like one of them had to get Gush crossing to get to one of those good spots, it was almost tit for tat there. So yeah, right now Property have 3 rounds. They're on a force buy. They're definitely going to need to win this round to stay in the game. And Dumas taking a lot of early damage here, being the long B player, super important too.
Yeah, and that Molotov also filters him across, and Dozier does come out worse for wear in that trade. I thought like you just peek around with the Mac 10 and probably have that frag fairly comfortably. Another issue that we saw yesterday as well, Joey, is that Property have a bit of trouble when it comes to closing out maps as well. Now, that's probably not going to be a case of this map, but maybe if you go through into Inferno, they kind of struggled a bit against Dignitas, and also the second map, I think it was D&G, Dobry Gaming, they played against. They had the very similar issue as well. But here we go. Can they even get to that stage in Inferno or Cobblestone? Mac 10's about to rush in. Headshot onto Berg. Nice reactions there from Angel. And that should open up things nicely. It was a force buy from Property. They still have a scout in play.
And 5-7's Downey. Even with the monkey business, he's not fooling around. Finds Kucher, but Mo and Angel starting to find some more frags, and Benji caught completely unawares there by Doja, rocking the Hotline Miami style Mac 10. I love that Neon Rider. And now it is Dumas with the CZ, with the Kevlar, trying to take a bit of a long-range battle. He's got the positional advantage here, but obviously is a little outgunned up against... Oh, no, I guess... Well, to be honest, Dumas has got the better gun and the better position, but now Angel going to get close and just take him down.
Yeah, my game crashed, but I'm going to assume that HellRaisers won that round.
Correct.
Convincingly. I'm not an 8-ball, but I'm going to...
Does this mean my game crashes next? I'm not looking forward to this.
I guess so.
4 players. It looks like, yeah, they're keeping 2 of their Mac 10s because they know property don't have the ability to rebuy. Though I feel like they kind of must. I mean, if property aren't going to have a great buy going into the next round anyway, so the fact that they forced up, I think, was almost a sign that they were going to buy up again anyway.
You can see that P250 did do pretty devastating strong damage there, but HellRaisers instantly back with frags of their own. 2 Mac 10 frags, make that a 3rd for Dozier. He's hungry for a 4th, but he gets shut down from Benji, who will now try and escape back to the site. And will be able to do so. The issue now, though, is he's got 3 players to face off against, and that bomb is heading to B site and will be planted in the next few moments. Benji kind of sussed this one out. His spidey senses are tingling. The problem now, though, the Mac 10 has no chance at really coming up against AKs at range. He should be wrecked as soon as he comes out of this corner.
It's also a shame, if he had, let's say, Kucher, Adrian, or Mo went down, he could have got an AK and went and saved it. But he knows that he might as well go for it with the Mac 10 despite a 0.001% chance of winning the round, because the Mac 10 will do you no good here. Team property buying up.
Yeah. Actually, don't have... I thought we'd be in way worse condition, but even have 4 smokes on the board. Just a little bit low on nades. Otherwise, no flashes to fend off HellRaisers for as long as I think they'd want to. I mean, the nade advantage is definitely in the favor of HellRaisers. But gun-wise, I mean, if they hit their shots in property, do like to keep their guns out. I mean, they could, I guess, stay alive here.
Double grenades for Damas again, but they have done this a couple times, so he takes minimal damage. There's Downey with the first, breaking the deadlock here in the 19th round. Bomb still mid. And HellRaisers kind of taking a leaf out of the textbook of property maybe and playing this a tiny bit more passive than just going all in, guns blazing. And you can understand that after losing the first player, right? I mean, maybe it's a case of also realizing that if property do have the full buy, they've probably got a few grenades and therefore just waiting until those grenades are expended and then pushing in afterwards.
Well, property with that man advantage is okay. It's a fleeting man advantage, as Adrian will find Dumas just like that. Kaboom brings it back. He'll find Adrian. That was also over towards the B site. That was Adrian trying to... He plays this map with symmetry, it seems. He kind of covers that position on CT side. He's also the one to work off the B plat on T side. But now HellRaisers back over towards A with their focus. At this point, with the bomb down, they're looking for a pick. Doja might find it. He turns around just as they walk through, and he gets them both. That was so awkward on so many levels. They don't check it. Doja was just staring at the wall with his back to them, turns around, finds a double. I don't even.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Kaboom gets the clutch anyway. What is going on? How did property win that round?
Analyze that, Launders.
He just ran by Kucher with the bomb and got killed in the crossfire. That's how kids are killed in the real world all the time.
Wow.
That ragdoll was pretty jokes as well. He went flying.
Yeah, he was just, I mean, he just wanted to put the bomb down. And, yeah, just handed the Kaboom around there, who, credit to him, actually, cleaned it up, hitting that second shot as well. But, yeah, that is kind of hard to analyze. Thanks for pointing that out.
No problem. All right, man, you don't got to do it. Benji with the Famasa, going to bring down Doja. Dumas is here pretty close by, and he will find one, probably another, maybe even 2. Gets a couple shots into the wall, and a nade for some 0 damage.
Wow.
That's how nades work in this game.
Hands next to you, 1 damage. GG, Gaben. Thanks, bro. Oh, Adrian's going to die anyway, so it doesn't really make that much difference. A great holdout as well for property. They didn't lose a single player.
I think we should do some... predictions here. I'm gonna put Metuz to his six rounds.
That can't be how you say his name.
Metuz.
It's definitely
Metuz.
it's Metuz.
Metuz.
I said like 16-6. Yeah, I'll stick with that.
I didn't make one. I'm gonna go with.
Yeah, I know, but we can do it now. Just see how long property are going to stay into the game.
I'm gonna go with 16-9.
I think they grabbed 3 more rounds. I'm going to go 16-8.
All right, so we're all different. We're all different across the board. Metas took the obvious 16-6 though.
But I said this ages ago.
Yeah, you knew. You work for HLTV. You knew it was confirmed.
So now I'm the Magic 8 Ball then.
Yeah.
This should go to property though, right? Like there's very little chance that HellRaisers pick up this round. They do have an AK, but that's pretty much it. And no utility as well. There we go. Berg has spotted the aggressors, and he doesn't get the second frag. I thought he would. He did tag up. I think it was Kutcher he dinked, although he wasn't necessarily aiming at him to start off with. It's all on Dozier. He's been spotted, fragged. There we go. 16. No, not 16-6. I'm getting ahead of myself. 15-6.
16-6, and they're still in this.
Yeah.
They've got it. We're playing to 30.
When you finish that field, when you finish a scrim and it's still on play out.
Have you ever done that? Just left the server because you thought you've won?
Yeah.
I've done that back in the day for sure.
So yeah, HellRaisers I feel like are on. I don't know if it's just a buy situation or a save at once every 2 buys, just because they don't know why they're losing situation. But here, Angel is going to be the one who.
Oh my God!
That is.
You hate to see that.
You hate to see it. Oh, Benji looks to trade and shoots Dren right in the toenail.
87 damage in the toenail. Must be one hell of a big.
I mean, it hurts.
That's true. Have you ever stubbed your toe? That's. I think that's 87 damage.
It does hurt quite a bit, in fairness. 4v4 though. After that pretty slick Angel frag to start things off. Now, judging by the weapons on the board, you're still expecting like property should be able to hold on to this. The Berg's assuming the Kutcher position, up on the A long, trying to fend this one off, but still a lot of time to play with for HellRaisers.
Yeah, 4-on-4. What do you think? You think this is the 16th round here, Metas?
I hope so. For my prediction.
Berg is in a pretty good spot. That Molotov is going down, and they're running into the preheated blender, straight from the blender into the oven. But Angel and Kucher are starting to bring it back.
Did you see that ragdoll effect? That was crazy. Like he died on the trampoline. That was crazy. Anyway, 2v2, 20 seconds to play with, and it's going to be in the AWP shot from Benji. Angel with 6 HP has to make his way across to that site where the bomb was dropped and through the gauntlet, and it's not going to happen. And
let's go.
Pepperonis.
I feel like I have skins on this game. Just waiting for that 8. What'd you have?
I said 16-9.
9. Okay.
Well, with my prediction.
One more. Okay.
So round 24, HellRaisers win with their rifle round if Launders is correct.
Yes.
If I'm correct, HellRaisers, I think you're going to have to win on a force buy / eco.
Yes.
Good luck.
That's true. They might just buy twice. We'll see, but they're not going that far, so we won't know.
So Dumas.
Well, there is Berg though. So I mean, maybe Joey. Launders is going to take it.
Downey, Knight, Berg, whatever your name is. Gosh, I'm going to actually just use my privileges as staff and change his name to Berg on the CEVO end of things because it's driving me nuts at this point. But Angel and was that Downey over there? Yeah, it was. He finds Angel over at long, so they survive pretty nicely. Berg finds 2 kills, and he's the only casualty for property.
All right, so yeah, HellRaisers now. The thing is, they can afford to op if they want to, and yeah, Mo's gonna have one. So it's probably gonna be the first time in the half. I think that they're gonna pull one out. I'm curious what kind of spawn he has. It looks like not the best B spawn, but one over towards that site. Don't know if that'll mean anything for him. No, it looks like he is gonna go to A, and they're gonna 4-1 the situation. It'll probably take it a little bit slower than they have been.
Let's see if they can make that AWP work. There was a smoke down in mid, so that's gonna block Mo for a little while. He's not able to get too much done. Berg plays very aggressively up long A here, so if this flashbang could actually end up landing behind him, he gets the frag and properly pick up 2 in quick succession. It could be dwindling away here for HellRaisers picking up this round, but there is Dozier to open back up once again. And there is a low player as well in the form of Berg, but again, it's going to be the AWP that comes good. Adren pushes through, gets himself a frag back in return. And the bomb is now moving on to A, but that Molotov will stop them pushing for a few more seconds.
All right, one more kill here onto Property, but Property take it. That's what I need to happen right here. Mo, though, Launders, you might just be right. They brought it to the 2-on-2. And Dumas and Kaboom not really in the best spot. Okay, Kaboom gets out on the other side of the van, drops a Molotov. That'll force Mo into a pretty awkward position. And they'll double peek out Adrian. And now if they can just push together, they should be able to find Mo, who, aiming at some legs right there. They're too quick. He takes the head off of Kaboom and then misses through the light post down to 13 HP, but he's still got an up. Has another opportunity to peek. Nothing here is spammable. That was intense, and this is honestly the best possible setup for a 16-9 scoreline. One CT living and Terrace get the bomb down, they could probably buy again.
Unfortunately for my excitement, I knew about 80% of the way through that round that there was no hope for me.
Oh, CT money is so good, though, it doesn't even matter.
But yeah, Mo clearly bet on himself in this game. And that's the only logical reason that he could have missed those shots. So that's what I'm going to put it to as an analyst.
It was like one of the most awkward 1v1s I've ever seen in my life. It was so strange.
It seemed like there was at least 25 bullets in that M4.
So back again we go. 25th round. I'm so surprised that Property have lasted this long. And that's, you know, credit to them that they have held on for dear life. And this will give them a bit more confidence maybe going 3-1 to Inferno, which is HellRaisers' choice of map if you just joined us. So Property trying to somehow take us into overtime. Berg, again, just taking a different angle on long A. Angel's going to push on through, gets the opening pick, and only loses 28% of his HP, so a good trade. And Joey's happy.
I like this biased casting. I could get used to this. Just blatantly cheering for HellRaisers right now.
If people just tune in, they'd think we're such douchebags.
But we're all biased against each other. So
yeah, we are. That's true. We are counterbalancing it, right? Kucher with another 5-on-3. It's looking good for the HellRaisers. Oh, kaboom! He's going to get dropped on and then accidentally right-click, assuming that's his bind. And Adrian finds another 4-on-2, but benching it down. He may be bringing this back. It's still HellRaisers with advantage, but there it goes. 2-on-2. Now time getting low. CT's back in the driving seat of this round somehow.
Yeah, I have no idea. He can't see the barrel of the gun stick.
Oh! Angel!
16-9.
I'm the best.
Damn.
Yeah. Meta's the only one who made a prediction before the map started. Wait, when did you make a prediction? No,
It's like half time, I think.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, so made it a little bit earlier than us, before the pistol at least. So, but either way, Joey, give it up to you.
I'll take it.
That was a nice 2K right there.
Yeah, that was nuts. I was like, he's got this perfect flank coming from the connector. Then that player started to check it. I was like, oh man, he's gonna get shut down.
Would you be pissed that 2K was on Reddit?
Why?
I mean, it's not, it's a 2K.
Oh no, I think. Well, one, this is the pro level, right? So it's a little more understandable.
Fair enough.
I don't know if I'd be mad. I don't know if I'd be super happy about it either. As for anyone confused watching, Launders and I have a PSA for the community. Stop posting 2Ks to Reddit. We don't want to see them unless they're
I
absolutely insane.
I haven't seen like that many exceptions.
That's true. All right, guys. Well, we're going to take a quick break here and head into this second map, which is, remind me, Inferno, correct? Yeah, so Inferno coming up next. HellRaisers taking that 16-9 up against Property. Property looking, not so hot in the first half, but they had some brief moments of success. They're looking a little bit better. Let's see what they can do coming up, guys. Stay tuned to the stream. We'll be back in just a little bit.